Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to, before I started this video, try to make myself feel a little bit better by doing this look, which I mean, kind of actually did work. I'm actually fairly obsessed with how this came out. If you are curious in knowing the products that I used for this, check the description box. I will have everything listed in there. But today's video is kind of a long month waiting. I have tried to film this numerous times, and for whatever reason, like halfway through the video, I will stop it, delete that, start it again, and so on and so forth. Or I'll actually, like what I've done, I forget how many times, end up getting through the video and going back through my phone and deleting it for whatever reason. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen this time. But yeah, I wanted to do a quick NSYNC appreciation video. This is something, like I said, I've had the idea of doing for the last month now. Just to kind of explain just how much their music has definitely helped me, you know, through my childhood and then until now into adulthood. So if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. If can't talk. But yeah, so I moved here to Louisville, which if you guys have not seen my Facts About Me video, I am originally from Cleveland, Ohio, but we moved here to Louisville in the summer of '98 for my dad's job. He got transferred down here, of course. That was, I think, either that was a time or probably maybe a little before then or something. But you know, hearing them on the radio and stuff, I even made a friend who lived across the street from me. You know, we kind of bonded over that, so of course that was nice to have. You know, it's always nice making a friend, of course, like that. You know, when you share kind of pretty much the same interests, you know, in boy bands and just in music in general. She unfortunately, she moved away, I forget how long after being there. And we kind of fell out of touch since then. But I do hope, of course, she's doing well still. With whatever it is she's doing, obviously. But you know, you always miss those moments of hanging out, you know, listening to their music on maybe like when it came on the radio or, you know, cassette tapes, which that word just made me feel so old for some reason. You know, I mean, I only just turned 34 or 33. Dear God, I aged myself another year. Ooh. Anyways, 33 is what I meant. Last month, I don't know why I went an extra year. Dear God, help me. But anyways, but yeah, like I said, it's just, that just made me feel so old. But anyways, hope not to get too sidetracked. You know, it was nice, like I said, listening to their music together and stuff like that. You know, I always listened to their, you know, first album on cassette, usually like 3 different ways. Of course, Walkman. We had a stereo downstairs that we used quite a lot. You know, me and my sister would be down there either just listening to music in general, you know, like the radio, or again, I would always put that in, or, you know, on my boombox that I had. But yeah, you know, just times were so much simpler then, and I miss those days a lot. A lot of the times, of course. But yeah, what was I going to say? So when we moved here, I was going into the 2nd grade, which little did I know going into that year would be the worst school year ever. You know, could not wait to get out. thankfully that was the only grade that I was there. I don't know. I think it might have went up a certain grade, but I don't really completely remember. But I'm just thankful that that was the only year I went. Um, just because, again, going into that grade, I was called names. I was even kicked, just bullied in general. For what reason, I still don't know to this day. And I've thought to myself a lot lately, I wonder, which, I mean, obviously not, but I wonder if anyone has ever tried to put themselves in whatever person they're bullying's shoes and try to think to themselves, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should make a friend instead. Because I wouldn't like it if the roles were reversed. But again, clearly not. And I don't know why people are so bored with their lives that they have to find something incredibly stupid to pick on some people for. And yeah, that's just, again, that's stuff that I thought about quite often lately. Bullying is a word that I wish didn't even exist. Those people don't even need to exist. Those people do not need to go on the internet or in real life or something and bully others for, again, the completely stupidest crap. Clearly I have a lot of anger left over from my school years, so, try to stop right there. But yeah, I don't get it. And I probably never will. But again, having their music to turn to on those really bad days, I, again, did not know at the time I started listening to them how much I would appreciate those moments. It's always nice having some music you can turn to, you can easily put on, no matter whether it be your favorite radio station, favorite album or whatnot, that you can put on to make yourself feel 10 times better than you were a minute ago, before you put them on. So it was definitely nice having their music to get me through that moment and just so many other stuff in between. And of course, I'll get to in a little bit. But yeah, now I was definitely bullied from then, until high school, but it wasn't as bad as second grade, thank God. It was mostly just name calling, being bullied for stuff, honestly, that I don't really even talk about. But I don't know. I guess maybe I'll just go ahead and go there. In 5th grade, I was bullied by pretty much just one person, this time, for the way my teeth were. Well, honestly, still are. Again, I don't talk about them, obviously. I do not smile, full smile, when I take pictures. So if you follow me on social media and, I'm always like, that's pretty much why. They've been one of my biggest insecurities, probably a little more when that started, but definitely, of course, as time went on, again, till this day. And yeah, I probably could have got braces to help fix them and stuff, but we couldn't afford it. So it just never happened, unfortunately. Hopefully, maybe that'll change at some point because, again, when you have an insecurity like that, you kind of hope that changes at some point. You know what I mean? But yeah, being bullied for that and whatnot, was obviously not a fun time. So again, having their music to turn on definitely helped me lift my spirits a heck of a lot. Of course. Then, let's see, we'll kind of skip to 2009. Now, if you have seen some of my diabetic stories on here, you will know, of course, I am diabetic. I'm type 1. I have been since August 26th of 2001. So going through all of that at that point was definitely rough, of course. Trying to learn something you didn't know too much about. But if it weren't for my sister, one of the things I am grateful for, of course, was we shared a room at the time, me and my sister. And if she hadn't found me early that morning, which was, I think, was about, I don't know, 6:30, somewhere around there, which, by the way, I think we had pretty much kind of just started school. But I wouldn't be here today making this video, let alone all of the other ones I posted so far. So that is one of the moments I'm definitely thankful for. I got to see then 11, and then now 33. I'm thankful that I got to see all of the moments that have happened so far with them happen. I'm thankful I can still be around, still listening to their music, while I'm trying to drown all the other thoughts that go on in my head out, So that was obviously one of the times when I really needed their music and listened to it, of course. And then 2009 comes. That's pretty much kind of when the diabetes issues started. So again, having their music to turn to on those bad days, after hospital visit after hospital visit, even again further on into adulthood when they would happen, was very much needed. Even breakups, which again I don't talk about too much, but 4 so far. I definitely always turn their music on, again, when those moments would happen to make myself feel a heck of a lot better. So of course, it's another thing I'm thankful for. Then we'll move on to 2015. No. Yeah. No. 2016. I'm getting a little misplaced here. But yeah, so 2016, now the doctor that I had previously, while when the diabetes first kind of started, which was from an insulin pump, by the way, I forgot to even mention that. It wasn't giving me insulin properly. Now, we thankfully said goodbye to that. So, again, moving back to 2016, the doctor that I had that recommended me the pump unfortunately passed away. So, of course, that meant getting a new doctor. And one of the first questions he asked me was, has anyone told you that your neck was big? In my case, my right side. We would kind of come to find that I had a lump on my right thyroid. Part of it, by the way, or yeah. But anyways, so going through biopsies and whatnot, of course, was definitely not a fun time. Now, thankfully, it wasn't cancerous, which that was one of the biggest weights lifted off my shoulders. And of course, everyone else's too. I just wasn't, of course, too big on knowing that I needed surgery, considering I had never had surgery before that point. So I was originally going to have it the beginning of June, but kind of towards the end of May, I was put on a new insulin he recommended me, that would hopefully help with my blood sugars. But that was short-lived. Not too long into trying it, kind of noticed breakouts popping up on my face, which, I mean, who doesn't really have breakouts? Just, I never had so much like that. So trying to find something that would help, I didn't really even get to use it just because it put me in the hospital. So I was in the hospital 4 times in 2 weeks because of that insulin. It gave me, I had an allergic reaction to it. Um, and then one of the first 2 times I was in the hospital, my blood sugars were too low. And anything I tried, you know, didn't work. We're trying to bring it up a little. And then the final 2 times were too high. I remember one of the final time I was there, I believe, I literally cried. I didn't want to I didn't want another visit, obviously. When you were literally on your fourth one, it was stressful enough, you know, when at first you didn't know what the issue was. And I remember the nurse, she gave me a hug, told me, they would try to get me better, which thankfully I did. And we ended up saying goodbye to that insulin, obviously. So that was one of the good things that happened that year. All right, I took off the lip combo that I was wearing, which is why it looks a little different, in case anyone maybe hadn't noticed. But again, definitely check the description for what I used. But anyways, again, thankfully, now I had some minor issues after that, but it was really just nothing like that moment. And getting out kind of like the day before I think my surgery is supposed to happen, of course, didn't happen. I didn't finally have my surgery until the end of July that year. So thankfully that's all done and whatnot. I haven't had any issues since. Fingers crossed that continues. I'm fairly certain I'll probably go back. I don't know. I'm going to guess maybe January next year. Because I've been going every 2 years. So fingers crossed, no more issues. Because again, I think I've quite had enough. But yeah, so definitely after that point, I never did I not put the music on, of course. When you have so many issues, you weren't quite sure again what the issue was at that point at first. Again, stress, was probably one of the words I could use. Definitely. I didn't want to again go back. When you're someone like me who's had what feels like, I don't know, millions at this point of hospital visits, it definitely gets frustrating. And you did like what I want to do, or you want to do what I did, if I can talk, back in, like I said, the final visit and cry, excuse me. But again, thankfully, it's long gone. And yeah, so then now 2015 is pretty much when my mental health issues started, unfortunately, after that relationship ended. So I had been dealing with depression for not even 8 years quite yet. It'll be 8 years in December. Which I don't know. To me, it feels so much longer somehow in a way. I don't know if maybe anyone else who goes through it maybe feels that way, but there are days when I definitely do. I wish I hadn't gone through it. If I can go back and prevent it, I probably would, of course. So I definitely turn their music on those really bad days, when it's really just up there. And again, you literally want to cry. So it's really, again, nice, like I said, kind of like in the beginning, having, a band that you've loved for so long, or a solo artist you've loved for so long, or, maybe even putting on a comfort show like I also do, which my comfort show is Friends. I always put it on when I need a laugh, or even half the time when I don't, honestly. Like I said, it's really nice to have stuff like that can immediately change your mood. So again, I'm probably like never not doing any of those things. I listen to their Pandora station quite often. I never probably not listening to either of their albums. Now, after about a month, I'm never not listening to Better Place. I have smiled each time since playing it the last month. I literally can't stop. It just makes me quite happy that there's a new song out there I could listen to. Hearing their voices is just one of the, I don't know what I was trying to say, but it's just one of the most uplifting things that I didn't know I needed in my life, in a way. Now, granted, after all those years, I'm not having a song and stuff, you know, is probably also what did it too. But yeah, again, it's definitely nice, of course. And then we'll kind of move on to not even 2 years ago yet, which is kind of crazy that we're coming up to that point next month. But in November, kind of early November, that year, I was sitting here. I got a call from a friend telling me that another one of our friends from high school had sadly passed away. He was on a hike with his brother, I forget where, and he ended up having a heart attack. He was 30, going on 31 in January. So that obviously definitely sucked, of course, being a couple months away from your birthday. And that's just something that I will unfortunately never forget. I wish we had hung out more. That always gets to me. And what I always think, will probably think each time this year comes around. It's not a fun feeling, of course. I remember sitting here not even knowing what to think. I have always, lost friends. Just never in my life did I think that way. And again, so soon, so young. So that had definitely taken a toll on me. It's still honestly, again, this time of year, will, again, since we're coming up in 2 years, of course, it definitely hits me. We're coming up on it way too fast. I don't even like to think about that moment. Just because I remember getting home from the funeral and just literally losing it. I remember trying to lay in bed, watching some YouTube videos to help take my mind off of everything after a really long, week. And I literally cried. I lost it, of course. I probably cried myself to sleep that year. So, I mean, it's been hard ever since. And again, little did I know just how much, definitely at those points, as it'll probably end up keep happening as the years go on, will definitely need their music. Again, more than ever. I have never been more appreciative of someone's music than I am with theirs. Really just music in general, honestly, but for some reason, their music has always just been the one that I will put on when I'm just really feeling it. And again, I can never thank those guys enough, for helping me get through some of the roughest points of my life. I didn't think at that point I would start really feeling it. I thought I would probably lose it when talking about my friend. Not saying, of course, I'm obviously going to watch this video. But again, I cannot thank you guys enough for, again, helping me get through these points. But yeah, so I think I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here. I really hope you guys enjoy this. If their music has ever gotten you through some of the roughest points in your life, If you're comfortable, definitely maybe leave that down in the comments. Again, you don't have to. But yeah, you know, here's to whatever happens next. You know, I definitely can't wait for the Trolls movie. I will probably definitely, if I'm able to see it in theaters, be showing up wearing an NSYNC shirt. Because I swear 99% of my shirts almost are NSYNC shirts. But yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely hit that thumbs up button if you did. Hit that subscribe button as well, and that bell icon to notify when I upload my next video. Which you guys, if you guys have maybe any other NSYNC related videos you guys would like to see, let me know down in the comments. I've been thinking about maybe keeping this up. I just hadn't really known what else to do since, you know, this recent idea. You know, again. But anyways, if you guys have any suggestions, leave those out in the comments, definitely. If you guys like to follow me on all my social media accounts, everything will be linked down below. But yeah, thank you for listening to me vent, mostly, kind of. And yeah, until next time, stay safe out there, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.